Lochani Mzansi, siwile godu si podcast called We Yet Uhuru sikhululekile na. Nawumazi uleta mbulu yang understand ukuthi ngithini. This is the podcast that doesn't include any political parties. We don't talk about any political parties. We don't talk about any politicians. We just talk about the community and the society of South Africa. We are the voice of the voiceless. That's why we call ourselves #imibuzo engabuzekiko la kwa We Yet Uhuru iyabuzwa ke imibuzo leyo. I-podcast yethu sponsored by iJuba Nobukhobe. It's a product called iJuba Nobukhobe which produced the cranberry gin and tonic and also your MCC Nectar Rosé sparkling wine. Ungazitholela yona mbukeli kwa www.ijubanobukhobe.co.za. sinayo i-online store there. We deliver emnyango wakho and ungayithola godu usicale godu nazo zonke ezikhona kwa social media. Mahlangu lotshani
akwande namthena akwande na nababukeli bakho.
Babukeli ngiphethe Isaac Madlozi Mahlangu. This is our honorable guest today. Sasikhumbula mos. We Yet Uhuru.
Sina ikululeko.
Jamil Mahlangu.
Ikululeko sina.
He is standing still, viewers. He is standing still. He's not going anywhere. I'm trying by all means. He's not going anywhere, Mr. Mahlangu. He's saying we are free. I get viewers. You can comment if you are saying we are free. Comment. Tell us your reasons. If you say we are not, comment. Tell us your reasons. Baba Mahlangu, kunendaba engilimazako la. Our youth in our society. Most of them akusafani nalokha well ngisemva mina kunawe mara ngibonile thina besicelela isikolo besibantwana. We were kids, we were children. Besibabantu abatsho nabathi youth besi youth. Nje abantwana bekho man. They are not children. Angazi bayephi. So yitsho nangesikhuwa I don't know where are they. Sibathola estradeni akakhona ukuhamba akakhona ukukhuluma akakahlambi yabhala man. Noma singayilwela i-education silwele i-freedom silwele konke sikubalileko Mahlangu ama points. We can fight for all the points for freedom kuthi no president azasiphi indlu yakhe, but looking at our youth it doesn't help to fight. We are fighting for zero because bakhulile laba abaseparlamente, bakhulile laba kuma department. Bobani abazothatha over? Who will take over in the parliament? Who will be the future president? Who will be the deputy? Who will be in those departments offices? It doesn't help me to say here, are we yet Uhuru? Yes or no? No, I fight. But if outside our youth is sleeping on the street, not because they don't have homes. Some they have those luxury homes, but they are in the street. Substances, alcohol is killing our South African. I'm gonna talk about it. South African children, youth. Esingayaziko ukuthi buya because thina sikhule ingekho into ekuthiwa nasiyabhenya umuntu sekabhambalelo o akasakhona ukuhamba o nesikolo sekubhalile. Sithini indaba ye youth under our freedom? Because I think if freedom again ebaphe that ability and enable them to do this.
One, since 1994 onwards. So since 1994, the family structure, especially in black society, has not been too strong. And I think it's as a result of, we should call it moral regeneration. But the family system is not as strong as it should be. There are more children without their daddies, without their fathers. Mm-hmm. Very many children who grow up not in a family where you have a father and mother in one house, but you find the children growing up with the grandparents. There's a mother, there's no father in the house because the father is somewhere else. So I'm just saying the family system has gone a little bit challenging. We still do need, as we are saying, during our times, we'll cool out holding no baba, no malantini. Begune discipline of some kind.
Yes. Yes.
There are various reasons why these young people find themselves where they are. One, it's lack of opportunities. Two, it's a lack of guidance at home, the collapse of family structures. Then they believe they must then use substance abuse, which is not a solution. It's wrong that we have our kids. So we need to address the root cause of what causes this thing, where you have children on the roads, in the streets, sleeping in my piping. The root cause thereof has to be addressed. Secondly, the children themselves as victims of this, they have to be, rehabilitated. And I think I've seen, at least I know one practical example where there was someone who was so problematic, high on Nyaupe and so on. Person was brought back home. He's a youngster, taken to church, and is back now. Is a normal person. It's a problem, Lento, substance abuse, but I do know that there's a lot of work that our state is doing in order to combat it.
But Mahlangu, there are rumors that are saying this substance is coming from somewhere. Sine government yethu engasicalelela kileso sikhala, but iyachubeka iyabhebhetheka into le igcwalizwe lonke. Thina besinganayo le substance, asiyazi, sizwa batsho, angikaze ngibone ngamehlo ami. Sithini? Mina ngifila ngathi umbuso wethu yebo sinawo ama rehabilitation centers, but ngeni ugcile, awusicaleleli ngendlela enough in such a way that we can block the source. Siyavumelana lapho?
No, I agree. It is possible to defeat substance abuse. If in other countries it's defeatable, it should be defeatable as well here in our country. But like I'm saying, we need to do these two things, the root cause and the actual victims themselves, these substance abusers themselves. In society, moral regeneration, in society must be worried to always see a youngster takes a rank uhamba with substances without asking. In society, in other words, that civic role, you catch the child in time under 2 days la endleleni so uqala ukwenza into ezingafanele simbuseleni ekhaya kubo sizwe ukuthi ekhaya kibo inkinga ikuphi. From there, ekhaya kubo must be able to engage with the Department of Social Development and so on. So there is some work that society, the civil society, has to play as part of moral regeneration and as part of strengthening the family institution as now in our country. Of course, in our black society, it has changed a little bit the family structure. As I was saying, that you have more children without fathers and staying with the side of the mother. That's all I can take this matter. I think it is defeatable. We just need firm leadership to deal with this matter. We need firm society that have civic responsibilities. So singadlula umntwana endleleni ungazi ukuthi wakuphi, especially in a village. We must know why lo mntwana la, why asephola mola lokahleli la. We must find a way ukuthi akabuyele ekhaya. That's all.
Uyithethe phi lento?
Yeah,
Another thing,
yes.
sifuna lo muntu oyilethileyo. Mahlangu, thina sikhule umutsha ukhona. Indaba yamalungelo thina beyivela ikhona yafika ngo-1994. Besikhona sikhula sibantwana, but it was never implemented because those children were still the real children. Umma khona ngathi hlala phasi, sit down, you sit down. When they say stand up, you stand up. When they say 6 o'clock, you must be here, you are here. Nasi indaba the yama rights of young stars. They have rights, and their rights is more over their parents. Their parents can say they don't have a say at all to them. But now they have a say to their parents. That is why today we find our children on the street because you can't tell them. Nalapo ngisabuyele mva ngithi our leadership, can't you revise that clause if it's a clause? Because I think that is the clause that gave our kids much freedom of saying wangibetha I'm going to the police station. So the parent doesn't have rights. By then, hi, and mntwanami, ubaba used to say, ngizakubetha nepholisa lakho khamba. But namhlanje, awa. Mina, I feel ukuthi the freedom that was given to our kids, it's more over to their rights and abilities and their way of thinking, because now they think they own the world. No one can tell them. That is why we found them everywhere. Uzothola a 14-year-old, tina sima 14 besihlale ekhaya, 14-year-old in a club because unama rights, and the parent can't say anything. Don't you think the government has the influence on this?
The rights the children have is not the right to substance abuse. It's also not the right to abuse parents. It's also not the right to abuse authority. They do not have those rights. They have rights to be at school. They have rights to study. They have rights to, education, but also to parental guidance. Those are rights that they have. Now, the root cause of substance abuse, it's still something that we need to take a look at. With rights come responsibilities. So the children do not have a right to be at the tavern at the age of 14. But the tavern owner also has no right to admit children under the age of 18 into his or her tavern.
They do. Enyokeni.
Mm-hmm. Now, these are people the state must go for. If we come to inspect your tavern and there are children under the age of 18, which is an allowable age of liquor shops, there must be harsher sentences, penalties to these tavern owners. Harsher. If something happens, my child comes home, is 16 years, very drunk.
Very high.
Very high. I must know, where did you buy this beer?
Where did you get the money?
Where did you get the money? But equally, on substances, where did you get that as well? Where did you buy them from?
Who's the source?
The source. Now, we're also addressing the root cause now. If we're looking at the source,
analysis.
We then say, okay, there's a guy that side who's selling nyaupe. You must be charged for trading in illegal substance. So we deal more with the person who gives than the person who has taken. I think that's what we should be able to deal with. Society must be involved in this. Police and all of us, including the children, we should be involved in this. There's someone else who came here and said, "Ngithengisela inyaupe," because that's the worst form of substance abuse.
Yes.
And of late, they even go to graveyards, amatambo lapha badike, and all those things. It's a lack of morality in society.
Feeling ngaphakathi.
Ukufa lokhu kuphela umoya. You have lost your blackness. Steve Biko once spoke of black consciousness. You have lost the blackness. So this child, by involving themselves in this particular type of activity, we must be worried about the mother as well, about the father. We must be worried. Ukhuliswa ubani lo mntwana lo? Ngoba in the olden days bekhonakala ukuthi ube nabo baba nabo mama abaningi nje ku society. Net la uhamba khona. Any elder uhlangana naye is your parent.
Bathi umntwana ukhuliswa mphakathi. Yes.
So where's that society now? Where's that community?
It's no longer there.
There is a general something. It's not so good where people believe everything and anything else is by government, to a point that government must be, even come to the house and check ukuthi umntwana wakho izoluleliphi. It can't do that unless there's a particular problem. Invite lapho ukuthi manje you really need the state.
Can't. That's too far.
So it is us as parents to start leading in the family. When I said leadership starts in the family, in the street, in the community, then you can think of leading a broader. That's how far I can take the matter. I think we have outsourced our whole being, our responsibilities into government.
Can't you think our government can just revise the clause and give some limits on our children's rights?
I wouldn't revise the clause as in bring back corporal punishment. It's that what you're looking for? My take is...
Not really, because it's painful to be punished like that.
Yes.
But children must know that even the government will take the step if I do this. In other words, who government and a parent are like this.
Yes.
Togetherness.
Yes, they are
talking
parents.
the same, they are parents.
Yes.
Talking the same
Yes.
language. So umntwana nakafika police station lijame ngakuma first, ngakubaba first.
Yeah.
Before lize emntwaneni. Well siyavuma ikhona i-child abuse.
Yes.
But kukhona enye i-child abuse yangamabomu ingasi kuyi-child abuse, umntwana yena uzenzela i-child abuse. Yes.
Actually, it should not even reach a stage where the parents are taking the child to the police so that the police must stand on the side of the parents. The parents must exercise discipline to the child at home. Because if we go, let's say we're now going to the police, or parents, basically we're saying, mthatheni over lo mntwana asimkhoni ukumdiscipline.
Yeah, failing.
It means now the very important institution, which is family, has failed to provide leadership. So msaphike lo mntwana. It's like, when you don't know when you know that if you stay here in the house and your child does not stay with you at home, he's a danger to society. That he's a danger to society. Is also a danger.
It is. Yes.
Because the next thing a serious crime somewhere, you don't take responsibility. As a parent, we have not given leadership. A serious crime somewhere, but is involved.
Abusing the society.
Abusing society. Yeah, so the family institution, I don't know where we lost it, but I know one tribe in Africa, here in South Africa, the Afrikaner tribe, with its Calvinistic Christianity. It's very serious on family issues. And the importance of a family. If you don't keep it together, even wealth does not flow. When I say this, you will not have a Mahlangu agricultural farm. It's run by a Mahlangu. Because Mahlangu is not serious about family. Get children all over the show.
Yes.
Not properly married. Who will take over that farm when I die?
No one.
Actually, we have caused a war amongst the children.
Yes.
Because they are many. We're not saying people mustn't have kids and so on. But the family is also one important infrastructure in how to build morality, religious values, cultural. You need the family. It is the family that must deal with this thing. I think we have lost it there. And
as people.
As a black people have lost it there. Why? I think we have imbued too much of cultures that are not ours. Our Christians, for instance, when they go to church, they will speak bad about my African thoughts and beliefs. It's not the white people who are criticizing my Africanness, my beliefs in ancestors and so on. It's another black person in that house. They call it a church. It's just criticizing me this side. Now, this suggests that we find it quite easy to take the cultures of other people and live with them. And then we lost being ourselves. No nation has ever prospered without knowing itself.
Yeah,
no
true.
Nation. You have the English in England. They know themselves, they are the English.
Yes.
You have the Danish in Denmark. All over the show, you have people with specific standing. Japan, whatever, what. We have here Africa that is, especially here in South Africa, more Europeanized, lost it spiritually. Yeah, once you lose yourself spiritually, then that's the end of it. So I don't believe that we must bring back the clause of corporal punishment at schools. But
no,
parents,
we mustn't.
Yeah, but parents must be found accountable. In fact, if a child under the age of 18 or so is committing crime and so on, maybe we must introduce a clause that even yourself as a parent, you will stand accused with your child.
If your child is responsible for this.
Yes, because you may find that the child will have said, I read somewhere in another social media, a child said, I'm here in prison, Mama, but I'm worried that you are not here. You were supposed to be here. You're the one who was
taught me.
defending me when I was stealing TVs. You are the one who was defending me when I was stealing ball pens and what. Now I've killed a person. You still believe in me. I should be with you here.
Wow. Ikosi yethu.
Yeah, ngicabanga ukuthi angazi ba uMahlangu angathini ngegovernment ukuthi government nayo ngicabanga ukuthi i-cause ye-drug abuse by lack of sports facilities in our community, because kuma-communities wethu ibala leli alisaberegiswa according to i-map. Uthola kune-ground abantwana badlala khona ibhola kamnandi, ekugcineni i-ground lalivaliwe sekwakhiwa i-tavern lapho or sekwakhiwa isitolo lapho. That means i-government ayinandaba nabantwana ukuthi kwenzakalani, and then ekugcineni akunalaba azikhipha busy khona. Uthola sebabhema ama-drugs just because of they don't have place la bangazi-entertaina khona.
Yeah.
So ngicabanga ukuthi nalokho ngaba i-government iyasilimaza ngalokho.
No, I tend to agree with you. I agree with you. I think there must be more sports facilities for our kids. In fact, I realize that they no longer have even soccer leagues. They used to have soccer leagues. Valiantly, so you get points. All those things. So we must. I agree with you. I think we need to do even more beyond soccer. Also get maybe tennis, some form of cricket. I've never seen cricket a lot.
No, and they can do it. It's a very expensive skills, eh?
Yeah, and then rugby and what all those things. We do need those facilities. I think the Department of Sport should do more than what they are doing.
Sikhule thina ekhuleni kwethu sikhule kunama clubs. Oh, i-weekend was nothing to us because we are busy. Nasibuya go simhlophe to sigcwele ihlabathi, siphethe ingicathulo ngezandla. Sikwatile ubani udlubani, ubani ivekeza kabasidli. Let's make a plan. That's how we grew up. Namhlanje angiboni vene egcila abantwana bavuma ingoma besinengoma zethu sazi ukuthi size sibange nengoma ithethe nengoma ethu. That's how it was, and it was so nice, and it groomed us to be who we are today, because tomorrow we're going to be a parent. I want to see my parent. I'm always asking him, what do you like, what's your sports? Because I know that it's going to build you and it's going to impact you somewhere, somehow. Asibuyele lapha ke baMahlangu sisesekhona ku podcast yethu We Yet Uhuru. Lapha kuma substance uzokuthola ukuthi umntwana ne une source, but the source is connected to the source. That second source is connected to the other source. The third one is connected to the high profile, which is something that is in the midst of South Africa.
Anything that is illegal must be fought, and must be fought very hard. Like I'm saying, that parents take responsibility for the kids and also inform state authorities. Ukuthi lo muntu othengisela labantwana uMahlangu lona uzithatha lezinto ezithengisa uzithatha kuzibani elsewhere. It's important to break that hierarchy. I don't understand why we should live with a problem for a long time.
We are still here, the podcast called We Yet Uhuru. But Mahlangu, sikhuluma ngabantwana sakhuluma nge-substance. But again, asithi bayilisile napaba sober, they are looking for opportunities. Do they need ukuthi bokukhwela ibhesi bayokufuna ama-opportunities khatshana? Or is it possible to do something internally in our community? We have people who are always in need. They need food, they need water, and so forth. Abantwana bethu bangathoma ama-biasakhethi singatsho. Omunye athengise lokho, the other one is selling that, the other one is selling that. But again, I'm seeing the bridges. According to my analysis, because I don't come here without thinking, I think about the people. It doesn't help me to just blah, 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 and go and sit. I have to do my proper analysis. I'm going to be honest to the South Africans who are watching this podcast. As I said, we are the voice of the voiceless. And we are asking those questions people who are afraid to ask. #imibuzo engabuzekiko. Therefore, I'm asking and I'm seeing the bridge that has been created in our society, in our community. We have those people that we don't know where they are coming from. They are running economically in our community, and they are making it. They came into our society carrying blankets, but now they are driving Legend 45s. Let's say our kids are sober. Where can they penetrate the opportunity? Because if you can look around, Mahlangu, in every village, the whole South Africa, istole kade kungisaka babo sibanyoni sithi sithi uma uthi thina besihlonipha musi lo chani babo sibanyoni uma uthi ngizokuthenga isinku akunikele le change abakuphe nesweet akasekho babo sibanyoni akasekho babo umgidi noma bebakolodisa abagogo ebazi umgidi uyakolodisana sithatha ipupu nasikholako sayibhadala godu sithathenye. Those buildings they are still there, and our people, it looks like something blocked their mind, or it's a cult, I don't know. They can't even fight for themselves. They can't even compete with them because of the pricing and everything. Wena ezumahlangu na ungathatha imkhukhwana kubeke ngecadi uvule, people will never come to your shop, will come to the other one shop because the other one is cheaper. And it's cheaper because stock sakhe awumazi ukuthi what is the source of the stock. And when you are going straight where gune big retail ethengisa everything in stock price, then you stock uze ngevenakho and sell to the people. So let's say our kids are sober. How can they help themselves in this situation? Thinking put our government as well in mind.
Look, I've seen in most villages in the former Wandebele homeland, in most villages, amathaveni are owned by babantu bekhethu.
Yes.
Which means bayakwazi ukurun business.
Yeah.
Almost
that's
all
true.
taverns are
Good point.
Ngicabanga ukuthi mhlambe baluze i-interest egrandeni lama spaza shop asemakhoneni la uthola sekugcwele khona kakhulu amasulumane ne. And there's a reason also for that. Reason number one, I think lama retail shops okhuluma ngawo ama spaza shop and so on average they make far too less in terms of profit. But it's sustainable still. Maybe our people want to do businesses that bring quick profits, and there's a talk that maybe taverns are doing that because Konama Tavern Akwala the entire night over the weekend, Friday, Saturday, even up to Sunday. Maybe there's a lot of money that is coming in there. That's one. Two, I think that the state, you said I must put in mind government. I think government is always, most of the time, putting aside funding for whichever form of business, including hair salons, which are also in our area. They're also owned by our own youngsters, most of them.
Have you seen who's working there?
My barber shop.
Have you seen who are the art people there?
Maybe remind me because I know.
You see what I'm wearing?
Yeah.
It's not from a South African.
Okay.
Full stop.
Okay. Maybe ngi approach different. Maybe ngi approach from la mina ngikunda khona.
Ukera khlupi.
Yeah.
No mahlanga ngakera.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But those special skills.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. They are sourced somewhere else.
Yes.
Okay. Now, but there is funding for South Africans who qualify. There are many small developmental finance institutions. They can fund even that barber shop, even the hair salon. They can fund even a car wash. Mm-hmm. That's not necessarily the definition of our rural economy, but we're saying there are activities of that nature in our society. You get some youngsters doing a car wash, doing a barber shop and so on. Those are good skills. The other thing that we are lacking as a country, and besides the question of leadership, there's the question of entrepreneurial spirit. There's no spirit to be an entrepreneur. I think we are more into working That's why we will rush to universities, all of us, so that we get the degrees there, then we go to work. Once we work, we are fine. I've seen many very qualified black people, teachers, lawyers, doctors, and so on. They can even go to retirement without having started a single business. It doesn't show
Even
respect.
thinking about it.
Even thinking about it. Even thinking about it. So these are the two things we must now answer. Entrepreneurship and leadership. Asifundelwa kalula lezi zinto lezo. Not generically given that because you have a qualification, therefore you'll be a business
No, not
person.
because you've done business.
Business management does not mean you can run your
business.
Your business.
It's a skill.
It's a skill. That you have a PhD in political science does not mean you'll be the president.
Exactly.
Leadership is just something else, and entrepreneurship is something else. Entrepreneurship is leadership in business.
To yourself.
To yourself.
You are your self-CEO.
And take care of your books and everything else. Manage these things. It comes down from your heart. So government will put in a framework, but we need somebody to stand up. Vusa.
Kuvusa isivusa ngoba mahlangu. Mara ekukhuleni kwethu njengoba ngitsho ngiyagcizelela besinobaba uSibanyoni ngiyakhumbula esitolo kwaSibanyoni, esitolo kwaMthombeni, esitolo eWhite Shop for example. Does it mean i-generation le yonke nje akekho nje noyedwa ofana nobaba uSibanyoni nobaba uMthombeni?
No, it's not necessarily true. Maybe what we need to do as leaders and entrepreneurs, just create a mentorship of 3 people in Ehambok, just 3 youngsters. Nina, I'm taking care of you. And Fundisa business, Fundisa this. From here, Kambok Tengisa. No more Tengisa, Matamat in the Kabish, Kambela and and just see by the end of the month, Zobung against the 50 rand as a profit now.
Baba mahlangu.
Yes.
Yakhumbula ngitheni. Ngithe mina kunabantukazana abasifikelako
Yeah.
ezweni lekhethu.
Yeah.
Sizihlalele sina ubaba uMthombeni. Sithenga sikolodisa.
Yeah.
Bafike baphethe amabhayi namajuvete.
Yeah.
Bakokote bakhuluma ilanguage esingayaziko. Uzuma athi hamba kaya.
Yeah.
Athi peleni konyanga.
Yeah.
I'm sorry to say that, but it is true. The voice of the voiceless. It is true. Today, when I go home and look at them, they are driving Legends 45. When I look around, exactly the same age of our youth, they are sleeping on the street. So I'm saying, is our economy, like the commercialization of our community has been grabbed, let's be honest, by some population, of which ukube azange asiti azange kube njalo. Somebody will teach umama uyakwazi ukuthengisa. Asithi kunomntwana ekhaya obhalelwako ongafani nami. Athi asithengisa amahruni nani yakho umkhukhwana lapha senzeni. They will then uyokufunda. Ngiyakwazi ukuthengisa mina I can sell from my mother's skills because bengenza naye. And can you imagine beyanga stock bikatshala. Then sitonini siyapaka sifaka amaplastikini, go house to house and sell. I was doing that. And I always tell my son ukuthi mina ngingayitshala itoni behlaza hlapha bengithengisa spinach. I have that skill.
Yeah.
But currently, even if you can do that, abantu bekhethu they will never come to you. Sekunalendo of ngithi nepotism that they are programmed in their brains to go to these Solomons people, Ethiopians, Pakistan, and so. And kune again mist that is flowing around in our country, saying they check it like who's those inspectors to check.
Okay.
Uguti equality, expiry date and stuff.
Yes.
I remember one day I went home and when I get there, my mom has a mini mill. It's still closed. Ngiyapeka. And then I'm trying to open. I can't do. Yes, we are small things are moving. And my mom is old. You can come and see. I don't see, but I could see. So all I'm saying is, bafike ngamajuvet, ba analyze the environment yezwe lethu. Babona ukuthi okay singayithatha njani. And let me tell you, black peoples, the way singakhona, oh black peoples, these people bathola by 5 wena ngeke ubabone ngumzala nomza wakhe nomraba makhe nomrakamali makhe nobani. That is why they marry babodwa, because bagada imali le ukuthi ingaphumi, because once wachata ngaphandle yabayisebenzele enzima ngabasuka le eTopia beza la bazokuthengisa ithathwe ngomunye umuntu. So thina mina umuntu onzima nanginestolo bese ngiyabona ngale esectionini le kunestolo angeze ngathi mahlangu come let's go and stock now uvuse sakho ngapho sokuya sobabili estokweni sithengise sobabili ipuphu leyiphelile ngakuwe umtsheleze ngakimi. They do that. If ngifuna isoup eso ufonela loyo ngale ukuthi unayo quickly ayoyithatha. Even eChina mall na ufuna iroko ngithi ngifuna usize 38 bathi abanayo ufonela ongapha athi do you have size 38? Yes, quickly uzokuthumela omunye umntazana ayoyithatha god akunikele size. Abantu bayalamana bomramama bomza wakhe bobani umzala kamza wakhe. Black people, we living in isolation and we are hypnotized and we believe that we cannot be business people but we can be buyers. Thina sidalela ukuthenga and give people money and cry. Sithini manje ngizwe eligrabiwe asibuye lapha. The point is izwe lethu has been grabbed. Asikhulumeni iqiniso.
And willingly we gave it up.
Willingly we led them and we support them. You will find our youngsters standing there at the door chilling because they are selling cheap cigarette, of which is the fake cigarette. Then they will get sick and will start blaming each other.
Yeah, I think where this, let's call them investors from elsewhere, who are investing in our rural and township economy, it gets to be wrong when they are going to sell you expired things and hygienic things. That gets to be bad.
Liquid soap is not working. It's not liquiding.
Yeah, but that's not a good investment. It is a cruel, inhumane way of working with people. We have welcomed them. Look, Africans in their nature, black people are very welcoming. They welcome the white people here, stayed with them.
Yes.
White people stole the
welcoming
land
them. Yes.
of these ones.
Yes.
We have our own shops and stores and spazas in the rural areas. We have welcomed these investors if they are lawful in the country, if they are here by legitimate means. Once we welcome them, they start doing these things to us, selling us expired things and all that. Now, that then creates hostility. It creates hostility towards them. But if they were selling us proper stuff, everything else in order, we will not have problem with investment of that nature. We would also encourage our own people to invest themselves. There are many shops here in the former Wandebele enclave that were banned.
I went to Venda.
Say in 1986.
Yes.
That was a serious intervention.
Yes,
that was a serious intervention because there were a lot of loans and fundings of some kind to these business people. That's why all the shops that were built then almost look similar.
Yes.
They were very strong. But then when those business people started to participate in politics, that's how they lost it. But that intervention, that banning was one of the severe setback on black business in the former Wandebele enclave. It was a severe setback.
It's not only the Wandebele. I went to Venda. Deep village that was very far. There's no electricity, there's no water. But I was laughing. I get in, it's so dark. I asked them, how do you sell cool drinks here? They said we are using paraffin for the fridge.
Okay.
So they are everywhere. They took our country.
Yeah. Well, also the point I'm trying to raise with that 1986 thing was that even the children of those entrepreneurs disappeared in the process. So the shops were left, banned.
I remember.
And then even the children who were supposed to inherit them
from their fathers,
also disappeared, or the father maybe was banned or set alive and so on.
Yes.
So there was just a disruption of. I'm looking at it from a commercial point of view, not from the politics. From the commercial point of view, that you had these entrepreneurs who then needed protection, found themselves in politics, which was wrong, and ultimately they became easy victims of society. But they are dying, and the burning down of the businesses and so on, also had a serious intervention in reducing the appetite of black people continuing in business. But also, we must not downplay the role that these plazas and malls are playing in reducing, again, entrepreneurial spirit amongst the black people. They play that big role as well. They demobilize the Africans from, going on with business. Because I think maybe we become too much consumerist. We like to go to the plaza, and all
Polar
the stuffs, Polar malls,
yes.
all those things. It also is a serious intervention in demobilizing the African child from being more entrepreneurial. Because magavulele shop la bathengisa le sinkwa kunama taxi lana, people go to the taxis, then go to the mall. Buy share le stolo sakhe. They will only come there mabezokolotisa.
That's the point.
Mase bakolotisa basubuyela lapho uthi uyayifuna le mali. No, there's a problem now. Akhona ukuyithola usalinde something ukharu saye kuphi all those the kind of things.
Yeah.
I'm not saying these are genuine points that can stop you from being an entrepreneur. But I'm just saying there are some external factors that are destabilizing, a little bit destabilizing.
Yeah.
But it's important also to note that these shops we're talking about, these bazaar shops that have been taken up by the Pakistanis, these Pakistanis have started their businesses most of the time by knocking door to door, selling us blankets and juvettes and all those stuffs.
Yeah.
And from there they graduated to be something else. So it is possible that if you want to be an entrepreneur, work hard. Don't go to tenders. Work hard.
Oh, don't go to tenders. My God.
Yes. Ukhubuke sikubona ukuthi ukhubukile. Wawela phasi lapha sabona vele ukuthi ukhubuke khulu manje. Usikime vyara. Uragele phambili.
Yeah.
We need that type of. That's an entrepreneur, not a tenderpreneur, not a consumerist, not somebody who receives things from nowhere. You
don't even know where
you must account for each and every step of your way. Then you shall be a business person. Do away with trying to impress society. Don't impress society. Do good for society. Society will be impressed by you.
Keep quiet.
Do your work in silence. There's power in silence.
Yes.
We have a problem, but at least this is one. It's confined to tenderpreneurship, where people get a big tender, then they buy big cars. They buy even clothes. People can speak on labeled clothes.
Yeah, what is it? Diamond work.
All those things.
Yes.
It doesn't create a good picture of somebody who's humble and is willing to work for society at the level of humanity, at the level of humility as well. These are two important things. I don't have to be the most known business person. That is Mahlangu. He has 100 million in his bank account probably because he can buy whatever. Don't do things just to say I'm impressing. Do things to serve
the society.
Thanks.
Wow. But ke asingene ku society lesisevako. Nayo isinikela ikinga ke. Isinikela ikinga ke society. Yeah. They are the ones that open the doors for those people who we are talking about, and take them to their garage or boys' room on the side and give them space. I remember there was a lady who was complaining. I remember it was but social media or TV, but ngambona nje in the phone. Ati, I was taking iskoloto from them, and then I was failing to pay. And then iskoloto maybe got interest or something. And then iskoloto was more over the rent. Then they stopped paying rent because I'm owing them. Then eventually they saying they take the ownership of the building because the lady is owing them. You see this thing which is say yagupi manje. They bafikile ngamabhayi. Okay, bathengisa sizwile. Okay, baqhatsha. Okay, fine. Sizwile. Okay, so I realize actually the food is expired. Okay, sizwile sakhuzana, but abantu asilaleli sonke ngokufana. Some they stop, some they still do. But if we as South Africa if we can stop buying those expired food, how will they make profit?
No, probably they won't.
They won't.
They won't.
Yeah. Problem it's two-sided. It's two-sided. Nathi bantu abanzima kose sizilungise. If we can stop and allow usikhosana there and support usikhosana there, then they will, because bayawasula baba, bathatha ibenzini bayawasula. And now they learn even to produce some of the food by themselves. Uvuli coke, thina sijwayele coke uyivule ifizi. Kube na something evela kube no leya uyivula ithula ithi do. The voice of the voiceless. That is the truth. Manje ikinga yami naye, let me go back. Mastande, it's us. Government azangacho next. Angimblame government. The time but is funny uRamaphosa bekangekho. I don't blame the government. Mastande, who's the mastande? It's us. How do we as people how do we do that?
I normally attend community meetings, and I must say that most of these meetings speak about politics and not economics or even development. If you are saying Ubano Mastande, this person initially might have thought, no, I'm creating a business here by hiring this garage. I now have a tenant. I don't run business, but I have land, and there's someone who can operate there. I think that intention is noble. It's a good intention. That I have a garage, there's no car there, and it's a big space. Let me take this Pakistani inside here, run a business. We are welcoming as Africans, and that is our character. We must pride ourselves with
Africa.
that.
Okay, cool.
Yes, we must pride ourselves with that. Now, when this Pakistani comes in, sells, and per month is paying me something in the form of a rent, it means somehow I'm involved in business indirectly because I have a particular income now. That is fine. Then society must do the following. We must have community meetings where we talk not just how to close down the shop we alone, Pakistani way, but what else do we do with that building which is empty? It was a butcher some time ago, and there's nobody who's operating it. What do we do as society? Can we have community-owned stores? We come together as a community and say, we will be investors here. I have 100 rand, that one has 100 rand, that one has 100 rand. This kept somewhere.
Exactly.
Then you have community-owned shops.
Yes, by multiple.
We don't just complain, say there's a spaza shop there with an expired cool drink or milk. Okay, after complaining, what do? You say, okay, remove those things. The Pakistani removes them, brings another. This time it's in order. What do? I'm fine, I don't have to worry about business. I'll still buy there. Just sell me things that are in order.
Yes.
I will not be your competition. That's the problem. You must compete with that person.
Business is competition.
Yes, compete with that person. Do something. If you can't do it on your own, there's power again in numbers. Much as there's power in silence, there's also power in numbers. If you come together and say, we are a cooperative, we're doing this. Even if you're not a cooperative, we're just a group of business people who are 5 or 10. We have asked for money from this particular developmental institution. They said they will give us, say, 200,000, 400,000. We'll sell bricks, we'll do what, all those things come okay. By the way, also the business of bricks is very much run by our own people.
That's true.
Brick selling, it's also run by our own people. Which means there is there's sufficient capacity amongst our people to run businesses.
But we are still going through that. It is happening, and to be honest with you, South Africa, it is sabotaging us. I don't know if we sabotage ourselves or they sabotaging us, but there is a sabotage, and it is killing us. It is killing our nation. I'm not Zeno, but let's do the right thing as South Africans. Let's sit down. Let's think. It doesn't mean if you need to have a spaza shop, you have to go alone and go make a loan in the bank and go. You will fail. We can make, as our guest was saying, that we can make it in multiple. 5 men come together, contribute, then the business will grow, and then they buy another building again, contribute, and then as much as they are doing. And I'm definitely sure if we are doing it by ourselves, we're gonna have quality stocks that are coming from SABS approved and everything. We're not going to experience these things of sharing our houses with strangers, living different kind of life and different tribe, and they make our I'm not saying they're not supposed to be there, but it's chaotic kind of in our country. Yeah. Mbukeli, ngilinda ama comment wakho based on this topic. We can repeat it next time. It's up to you. Comment, tell us, advise us. You are more than welcome. This is the podcast called Are We Yet Uhuru? Sponsored by Ijuba Nobkobe, the brand that produces cranberry, gin and tonic, and also MCC, sparkling wine. We are the voice of the voiceless. That's why we're saying hashtag imbuzo engabuzekigo. Remember, we don't talk about any political party, neither politicians, or no current affairs. We are concentrating on our community or our society, and we're trying to wake them up and take the ownership of our country. Pamahlangu, ungasipha iclosure uvalelise.
Sithokoze namthweni ngithokoze khulu very well ngiphelona ukuthi sithi imbondombondo ngendaba zomphakathi. Ngiyathokoza ukuthi we approach from economics or commercial point of view. Sizwile ngepolitics, wezwile imhlangano eminingi ngepolitics. Funa manje si create ama economic activists.
Thank you. Community activist nizwele babukeli. Omunye nomunye akavuke vuka South Africa. Tinekhethu le lasivela khona sithi vuka Ndebele. Alo seyinabiza into le ayigowe bathini ayibe viral. Vuka South Africa. This is our podcast. Are we yet uhuru? Aluta.